We had a fantastic 5 versus 4 game in the women's tournament yesterday, and these two teams are very evenly matched.
They are indeed, and we just got done watching Akron defeat Bowling Green in a blowout win, but this Ohio Bobcats team is the only team that actually beat Akron in their 17-1 MAC campaign. So Bobcats have taken on the best teams in the conference so far, and this Toledo Rockets team they have facing off here momentarily are going to be no different. Both teams are very quality.
Yes, they are indeed. Both almost identical. Toledo enters with a record of 17-14 overall, and the Ohio Bobcats are 16-15 overall. But in conference play, they're both 10-8. The only thing that separates them is the fact that Toledo won both the regular season meetings. And Lucas, the Rockets have kind of had Ohio's number, especially under Coach Todd Kowalczyk.
They have indeed, and this has been a matchup that I think has been kind of underrated in the MAC in the past couple years. Both these teams have always played very good games, whether it's been in tournament play or it's been in the regular season as well. They had a couple good games this past regular season as well. But, you know, Ken, these Rockets, 4 losses of their last 5 coming into this one. They're obviously coming off a win against these very Ohio Bobcats at home, 96-82. So high-scoring affair last time these two teams played, but I think it's going to be a very good contest. And maybe Toledo finally turned the corner because it was that loss they took to Bowling Green that kind of sent them on this downward spiral to the final few games of the season. But in tournament time, we mentioned this a lot, Caden, it's win or go home.
Yeah, it really is, and experience is a very, very important thing. Toledo currently is playing Ohio in tournament play for the 10th time overall, with Ohio boasting a record of 7-2 versus UT in the MAC tournament, which is kind of interesting, and we'll obviously see how both teams fare, as Toledo's won 8 consecutive against Ohio, and just in general, and they boast a record of 17-15 overall in the MAC quarterfinals. The starting 5s are out. We're going to start with the Ohio Bobcats. Their starters look like this: Elmore James, Sharif Mitchell, Elijah Elliott, Jackson Pawelecki, and then A.J. Clayton. And Lucas Pawelecki is a player that is going to be very important for this Bobcats team.
Yeah, Pawelecki is the only Bobcat that has started all 31 games this season for head coach Jeff Bowles. He also leads the team by quite some margin in the MAC and on the team in assists, 149 total assists on the year as well, along with 27 steals, averaging 13.4 points per game. He's going to be a very key player for this Bobcats team. They want to come with a win and advance to the semifinals.
And then for the Rockets, their starters look like this. You have Javen Simmons, Bryce Ford, Sonny Wilson, number 7, Isaiah Adams, and then number 11, Sam Lewis. It's a starting 5 that Coach Kowalczyk has used for the vast majority of the season.
Yeah, and I think the easy player to point out would be Sam Lewis, but I'm going to go with Sonny Wilson here, averaging 15.3 points per game. That's good for second on the team. Is also second on the team in total assists on the year with 100 total to be exact. And rebounding as well, he's been a good rebounder as well, has 4.5 boards per game as well. This is a player that's also started every single game for the Rockets. He's one of the 3 players that has started all 31 games. And he's also a player that's had plenty of experience in MAC tournament and also in big games as well. I think he's going to be a big component for head coach Todd Kowalczyk tonight.
Yes.
This afternoon, I should say. I'm getting my times mixed up, Caden. It's been a long time. It's afternoon.
We've been here basically since 9 a.m. You maybe even a little earlier than that, so it kind of just feels like it's still the morning, but
the early bird gets the worm.
Exactly.
Gets the worm.
It feels like we never left this building last night. We were here till late in the evening, as both teams' starting 5s are going to get announced to the folks here in Rocket Arena. And, you know, it's a really cool thing that these teams get to play here. It's the 25th year that Cleveland is hosting the Mid-American Conference Tournament. Toledo is yet to win a conference tournament championship here. The last time they won a conference tournament championship was in 1980. That was actually the first year that they had a tournament in general.
Indeed, and they were on the back of 4 straight MAC regular season championships. Obviously, this year they did not. Akron came away with the regular season win, only having 1 conference loss, but Toledo's had a history under Kowalczyk of not getting it done in the postseason tournament. You look at what happened last year. Rockets were the number 1 seed, and they lost to the number 8 seed Kent State, who made it all the way to the championship this time last year. So they got a little bit of something to prove here, a little bit of chip on their shoulder, maybe however else you want to say. say it, but they have something to prove here because it's been disappointment after disappointment for the Rockets in tournament time.
Yeah, and we'll see if, playing that underdog role kind of does better for them. Not being the favorite. They will, of course, if they win, play the favorite in Akron up next on Friday. That'd be tomorrow in the early evening.
Indeed, as well, and we talked about Paveletzky as well for Ohio and how big he's going to be, but they also have players that have stepped up. Aiden Hadaway played 17 games this year and then had that injury. He hasn't been back since.
Yeah.
And then you look at the rest of the team. You have Sharif Mitchell, who's played really big. A.J. Brown has started 29 games as well. He's been big as well. A.J. Clayton's a name we're going to say a whole lot. I think a lot of folks at home remember what he's done to Bowling Green, but also what he's done in the MAC in general. He leads the Bobcats in scoring with 14.2 points per game. The Bobcats have a lot of proven players, but I look at both these rosters, and they're very similar to me in terms of what they've proven.
Yes.
And the biggest games, non-conference games, or especially during tournament play. And I think, honestly, it's going to be kind of similar to what you and I said last night when women's basketball lost to Buffalo is your star players need to step up. And I think for Toledo and Ohio, your star players are going to need to step up, but also step up in the biggest moment. It's not about how you start. It's more so how you finish.
Yes, and that was just exemplified in the Buffalo BG game yesterday with that fourth quarter put on by the Bulls. And another thing to watch is just the younger players, and we'll see how they handle their nerves in such a big game.
Indeed as well, but as I mentioned, the experienced players from both these teams, I don't think we'll see that many nerds, but you never know. There's always players. Paveletzky, too, still relatively new for Ohio into the MAC as well, and you look at the other players as well. Isaiah Adams coming over from Buffalo. Buffalo Bulls haven't made the tournament the past couple of seasons, so he's back in the MAC tournament as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he does as well in the starting five as well. So both teams got really good players. I think I am going to say I think we have the best matchup today. We're alongside Tower Cavaliers. Artie Abrego just were on the call for Bowling Green and Akron. Henry Costco's here doing calls as well. But I think you and I got the best game of Thursday.
I would agree with that. This one's going to be a lot of fun and a great crowd. Toledo, of course, travels everywhere.
They do.
Even some Ohio fans making the trip up from Athens.
See some green and white?
Yes. And there's still some orange scattered around.
There is indeed. Unfortunate end for Todd Simon's group, but in my opinion, with all the injuries they've had this year and all the 7-man rotations they have for most of the season, to come and get into the tournament and I think is a good feat in itself. Didn't finish with a winning record or a winning record in the MAC either, so I think it's something to be proud of nonetheless.
In the middle for Ohio is A.J. Clayton standing at 6'8". And I think we had a technical foul before, maybe something like that. I'm so confused as to what just happened. Someone was shooting.
Well, Bryce Ford was shooting from the free throw line for Toledo. So, interesting.
Still says, they did say it was an Ohio technical foul. Didn't make the free throws, though, so it's 0-0. 20 minutes on the first half clock. Toss the ball up, and we're underway with Ohio winning the tip. They're going to the eastern side of the Rocket Arena, which means Toledo will go to the west, right at us. Clayton around the arc. Handing it back. Paveletzky. 12 seconds on the Bobcats timer. They're working inside with Clayton. Tightly guarded to the near block, lost it, and it's going to be taken away. Other side of the floor, first offensive possession for Toledo today. And move it around the arc quickly. Now driving, fall down, and that is loose, but a good pass over to Mitchell to retrieve it. Now up top with Brown. Around the arc, there's now a three from the far wing, and that's going to fall to start the scoring. That's Ben Nickel.
You turn defense into offense if you're the Rockets. Good defensive stop and a turnaround bucket.
As Isaiah Adams check that as there is a basket on the other end to make it 3-2 a minute in.
Yeah, it's a player we were talking about in pregame, Caden. Paveletzky is going to be huge for this Bobcats team. Got loose there. Very elusive, very quick with his release as well. They made a nice couple moves in a spin move to the basket.
Wilson over to Adams. On the arc. That is going to be poked away by Clayton. Nice defensive effort by him. He's on the ground. He's going to pass it over to Mitchell. Mitchell takes the three from the far wing, and then he gets that to rattle in. 5-3. What a shot from Mitchell. 39.7% from beyond the arc this season. Lewis, tightly guarded at the near block, spinning around, takes the shot in and out. That one goes, but offensive rebound's made, and then the putback goes in for Simmons. Even Ledger.
And you want to talk about experienced player, Simmons is probably the most experienced player on this Rocket roster.
That's blocked away from behind. Mitchell was a shot taker, and the Rockets take it the other way. Great defensive move there by Sam Lewis. Working around the arc, up top. There's a wide open three from the near wing, and that's going to fall. Isaiah Adams makes it 8-5, and Lucas, you can't leave players that wide open.
You can indeed, and Adams only 20.2% shooter from beyond the arc this season, but you can't leave a player like Adams that open in the corner. He'll bury it.
Mitchell working around the arc once again. 15 seconds on the Bobcats timer. James working at the charity stripe, takes the fade away from that spot and gets it to ring around the rim and fall. Good shot for Elmore James. Driving, we have a whistle and a foul. Isaiah Adams was fouled as he was driving. They're going to charge Elmore James with the foul, the first foul of the contest by either team, unless you count that technical before.
I think you probably would. That was a very interesting start to this contest, to say the least. Still just a 1-point Rocket lead.
Two-step move to the hoop, and that's blocked away from behind. And then a whistle, and I think they're going to say Sharif Mitchell was out of bounds.
Yeah, I think they will, Caden, and I think Mitchell's complained that I think he was getting his jersey grabbed a little bit, trying to keep that ball in bounds, but no foul called.
Wilson to inbound it. Gets it into the far corner with Lewis. High pass, and it's going to go into the backcourt, which means backcourt violation. Ford tried to save it. It goes down as a turnover. Toledo is top 2 in the MAC when it comes to fewest turnovers per game, as Ohio gets the basketball. 17:01 to play in the first half. It's 8-7. The Rockets out in front, inbounding it from the 3/4 of a court line. Does Mitchell. Mitchell. Bring it back. There's going to be a three from the far wing, and that is short and no good for James. The Rockets get the rebound defensively. Two-step move to the hoop along the outstretch into the paint. No good. It goes for Wilson. Bobcats get it back. Up-tempo the other way. Quick passing it around the arc. Dumping it inside to Clayton. In the short corner, he's going to take a shot, and it's going to fall. He saw space between him and Simmons, and he put it in to make it 9-8.
And A.J. Clayton, you can't give him any sort of separation. I mean, you can be tightly contested with him. He'll still find a way to knock down a shot, and he did so right there to give the Bobcats the lead.
Wilson putting on the moves. Moves over Simmons. Now up top with Adams. Takes a wide open three. That's no good off the back iron, but offensive rebound is made at the near wing by Sonny Wilson. Back around the arc. Now there's a long two from the top of the key, and that's going to fall for Sam Lewis. We've had a shooting clinic thus far.
Leads the team in three-point shooting as well, 43.3% from beyond the arc. Lewis has been electric offensively this year for the Rockets.
It's 10-9. So there's a double team that's almost taken away, but it went right to Pavletsky, who's going to drive in the middle of the paint, takes the fade away, and that's going to fall. It rung in and out of the rim and then off the backboard. 11-10.
Got a back and forth first half here. First 5 minutes in this one here. Back and forth, both teams really going at each other inside the paint.
Ohio 3 of their last 4 from the floor. Wilson to Simmons. Moves it back out to Wilson. 10 seconds on the Rockets timer. Lewis driving, moves it out. There's a three, and in and out. That one goes for Ford from the far wing, and the rebound is made at the near elbow defensively by Elmore James. Under 15 to play in the half. James double teamed in the paint, takes a shot anyway and puts it in to make the lead 3.
That's just such good patience there from James. not forcing up a shot, just working on Wilson there inside and forcing that out there. Eventually getting double teamed there towards the end as well.
Wilson back with the basketball. All-MAC second team. Gives it out to Adams. 10 seconds to shoot it. Takes the fade away, and that is no good from two-point range. And then the rebound is made defensively by Mitchell. Mitchell, end-to-end. He's going to go to the hoop. Misses layup from the near block. Highly contested shot. Now it's a 5-on-4 down the floor. And Mitchell gets back on defense to even it up. At the 14-minute mark of the first half, it's 13-10. The Bobcats in the lead of this MAC tournament quarterfinals game. Ford lobbing it inside. Simmons now back up top. Quick passing around the arc. There's a three from the near wing, and that's going to fall. Sam Lewis put it in to end the scoreless drought. 13 all.
Lewis, as we mentioned, one of the most prolific scorers in the MAC this season, the best probably pure scorer on this Rockets team. Answers there, tied out of Baker's dozen.
Mitchell back around the arc, creates space for himself and lays it in from straight ahead.
Mitchell is so elusive.
Wilson moves it up top. Toledo definitely taking their time trying to set the offense as there's a little too much physicality put on by Sharif Mitchell there. It draws the foul with 13:15 to go in the first half. 15-13 the score. So flip it around. Ohio is in the lead. We're going to step aside and come right back to Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the MAC Tournament Quarterfinals.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing. Inspire kids to do at 4h.org.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio, and the MAC tournament first round quarterfinals. It's 15-13 in favor of the Ohio Bobcats. They lead the Toledo Rockets. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleimeyer, thrilled to be with you. And Lucas, Ohio has started 7 of 10 from the floor. They've hit 4 of their last 5.
They have indeed, and Sharif Mitchell there, 5 points right now, leads the Bobcats, but he's been so quick with his movement. Off the ball, on the ball, he takes 3 steps, and all of a sudden he's in underneath the basket there. He's so quick, very elusive game in the paint as well. Pavletsky is very similar as well, and Clayton has kind of been unsung a little bit to just 2 points, but he had a steal and a block defensively, so he's been huge for OU defensively. But it's been a good start to this one. Both teams back and forth, evenly matched, and like I said, I think we got the best game of the day here.
It's been a great start. 13-15 to go in the first half. Just before the media break, we had a foul committed by the Ohio Bobcats and Sharif Mitchell.
Also, what a color matchup we have here. All gold's yellow for Toledo and all green for Ohio. How about that? Don't see that every day.
Some Bobcats also wearing bright purple shoes. Just to
don't
add
know
some
about,
more color.
I don't know about that, but you know what? We'll go with it.
Whatever works. 7 seconds to shoot it. And then we're going to have a whistle and a traveling violation. The guilty party, Javen Simmons, at the far elbow. Goes down as a turnover. Toledo's 4th.
Simmons is one of those 3 Rockets that have started every single game this season. Leads the team in rebounds, too. Has 206 total rebounds on your 6.6. He's a big man down low. But sometimes he can be guilty of a couple travels, and you saw that on display there.
Pavletsky whipping it over to Mitchell. Back to James. Pavletsky now at the top of the key, working it. And his pass is going to be tipped and taken away, and then momentum took Sonny Wilson out of bounds, so Ohio will get it right back. And had he just been a little sooner to the basketball, he probably would have had a breakaway, Lucas.
Yeah, he couldn't really control his balance a little bit, too. He seemed like he was a little bit late reading that one, too, but he was already losing his balance trying to collect that ball. But a little bit of a break there for the Bobcats there. Kind of just not a lot of mustard on that pass, I would say. Not a lot of juice.
Shot clock is having a little bit of issues.
We saw that a lot yesterday, too, for the women as well. The shot clock was off by a second or two, which makes a big difference.
It says 29, even though it should be at 30. 12:40 to go. And now they said 13.
Okay, that's a big difference.
Well, they say 13, so they say Toledo did not possess it. As there's a 3 from the top of the key, and that's no good for Pavletsky, and the rebound is made defensively by the sophomore Sonny Wilson. Wilson, other end of the floor, guarded by Mitchell, moves it out to the corner. Gets it back, now takes a 3 from the top of the key on the run. No good, but an offensive rebound is made, and then go back up with it, and that's good for Seth Hubbard. Top scorer off the bench for Toledo, evens it at 15.
What an addition he's been. Came in through the transfer portal last season. He's been a monster off the bench.
Averages 7.6 points per game. That fadeaway from the near elbow is no good there for Elmore James. Toledo gets it back, under 12 to play in the half. Spinning. Take the shot, create space, and that's going to go in for Sam Lewis.
Pump fake spin around shot there, being patient and getting that one to go with the right.
Searles also into the game for Ohio. There's a 3 for, never mind, he's going to drive. Fake to me out there as he takes a long 2, and that's no good, but an offensive rebound made off the tip, and then a breakaway to the hoop, and A.J. Sheldon is going to enter the scoring column.
Well, we talked about how big Hubbard is off the bench for the Rockets. Sheldon is just as impactful off the bench for the Bobcats.
Now a 3 from the near corner, and that goes in. Andre Lawrenson.
Lorenzen was so good off the bench last tournament, too, against these for the Rockets, and he's been so good again off the bench all season long.
Makes it 20-17 at the 11-minute mark. There's a 3 now from the far wing. That's no good, and a rebound made defensively. Mitchell was the shot taker. Looked like Hubbard picked up the defensive board.
Lorenzen's open again here in the corner if they can find him.
Hubbard takes the long 2 and splashes that one home.
What do I know?
5-point game. 5-0 run for Toledo over the last 46 seconds of gameplay. We're approaching the halfway mark of the first half. Double team at the cherry stripe line. Move it back to Sheldon. Sheldon driving the outstretches of the paint. Stops at the far block. Goes up with it through the contact. No good. And another defensive rebound is made. This time it's Wilson. Wilson making moves. Going end to end. Coast to coast. Lay it in the middle of the paint. Time out. Bobcats.
That's a timeout Jeff Bowles really needed to take. The Rockets on fire right now. 7-0 run in the last minute. Plus, I mean, it's been quite the run for the Rockets led by Wilson and Lorenzen.
A 7-0 run over the last minute and 17 seconds. We're going to take a step aside and come right back to Falcon Radio. 10:08 to go in the first half.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
I'm BG News reporter Ava Thoman, and here's a look at this week's edition of the BG News. Honoring Women's History Month and celebrating all women who've made an impact. See who is being celebrated and how you can join in on the celebration. Since its 1965 opening, Stella Field has not seen a big renovation. Read about the fundraising campaign and what renovations are being brought to the baseball diamond. A tree honoring a lay professor will be planted on campus. Find out more about how some students raised all the funds in just 6 hours. And on March 12th, the Bowling Green Falcon Marching Band took flight to Ireland. Read about what they plan on doing for St. Patrick's Day. Check out these stories and more in this week's edition of the BG News, now available on newsstands around the BGSU campus and the Bowling Green community.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
Welcome back to Rocket Arena and Falcon Radio. It's 24-17. The Toledo Rockets out in front of this one at the 10:08 mark of the first half. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer. The Rockets on a 7-0 run over the last minute 17. If you extend that time period to 3 minutes and 21 seconds, you'd see the Rockets are on an 11-2 run, Lucas.
Indeed, as well, and basketball, as we say, is a game of runs, but right now the momentum has swung all the way in Toledo's favor, and I mentioned as well, Lewis, Wilson, Lorenzen hit a big three as well. They've been spearheading this run that the Rockets have been on.
They average 78.2 points per game this season, do the Rockets. Scored 24 through the first 10 in this one. Back underway. Pavletsky with the basketball. Dumps it inside to Searles. Searles tightly guarded. Double team with 13 seconds to shoot it. Moves it back around the arc and now the other way. Somehow gets it back. Driving the baseline, 7 seconds. And now we have a whistle and a foul is going to be called. The Bobcats kind of looked like a clock with their passing. And it went right back to Searles. And then he ended up drawing the foul with 7 seconds to shoot it.
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise. Inbound, now drive to the hoop and put it in for the far block. That's Sheldon making another layup.
He had to jump at least 3 feet in the air to put that shot up, go over 2 Rocket defenders as well. What a finish from Sheldon.
Spinning to the hoop, whistle and a foul. Count the basket. Going to line to shoot one is Owinga, just into the game. Guilty party of that foul for Ohio is Hathaway, I believe is what they said. Not on our roster. Free throw up and good.
I mentioned
for
too,
the freshman.
Sorry, Kate. I mentioned pregame too. Hathaway had that injury earlier this season. Eventually worked his way back towards the end as well. And then, but now Hathaway, I mean, he's only played 17 games this season. He was a starter for most of the season before coming off the bench now.
Came back just at the right time as there's a whistle and a foul. Count the basket on the other end. So back-to-back and one opportunities between these two teams. So as we're going to have a free throw attempt for Elijah Elliott. 27-21.
I would say this game's been physical for majority of it, but we didn't have that many whistles before that second media timeout. But now it seems both teams are getting a couple of baskets to go and a couple of three-point plays coming up.
Elliott made the All-MAC freshman team. Misses his free throw. The rebound is made defensively by Owinga. Wilson taking across the midcourt stripe. Under 9 to play in the half. Double team. Move it out. Drive from the far wing. And that layup is going to go in for Isaiah Adams. 29-21. Other ends. Around the arc. That's Elliott. Moving it to the corner along the baseline. Driving to the hoop. And that is going to go in. That's Hathaway entering the scoring column.
How about a change of direction there underneath the basket from Hathaway? High arcing shot there and got it to go.
Makes it a 2-possession game at 29-23. There's a long two. That's going to go up and no good for Wilson, the guard. And the rebound is made defensively by Elliott. Elliott making an impact right now for Ohio.
It's a couple of stops from the Bobcats trying to get some momentum going.
Spinning around, go to the hoop with that one and lay it in through the contact to Searles. That's his first basket. Cuts the deficit to 4. Toledo other end with Adams. Adams handing it backwards to Lewis. Working the top of the key. Lewis still with the basketball, puts on the moves, takes a long two. That's short and no good. Off balance with the shot, and the rebound is made on the defensive end by Hadaway. Other end, two-step move to the hoop, and that's blocked away from behind. And then out of bounds it goes. I think they said to Toledo, last touched by Mitchell, which brings us to a media timeout with the score 29-25 in favor of the Rockets. 7:18 to play in the half. Don't go anywhere. This is Falcon Radio.
On February 11th, 2025, BGSU senior forward Marcus Johnson nailed an improbable corner three-pointer at the buzzer to give Bowling Green a lead over the Ohio Bobcats going into halftime. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call on Falcon Radio.
Thomas looking for someone to inbound it to. Gets into Johnson. Corner three, fading away to baseline. Marcus Johnson nails it. Bowling Green goes into half with the 2-point advantage, 34-32 on the miracle shot by Johnson.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Welcome back to Falcon Radio. Kate and Knapp, Lucas Klein are thrilled to be with you on this Thursday, March the 13th, first round of the MAC tournament. Toledo, the 4-seed, leads the 5-seed Ohio by a score 29-25 with 7:18 to go in the first half of gameplay. An interesting note, Lucas, is between these two teams, everyone who has played except for one player, and that's Bryce Ford, has scored.
I was actually just about to bring that up. We've had 15 different scores this game alone. We've had 8 scores for Ohio, 7 for Toledo. So that's 50% of all players dressed for this game.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive as well. You have Adams leading the way for the Rockets, 8 total points so far this game. Mitchell has 5, but there's been a plethora of scores from both teams so far. Everyone's been contributing. It's been a total full team game here in this first half, and you know, you kind of see that a lot of these games come down to in the second half is going to be those star players. So we'll see if a star player from either one of these teams takes over.
Mitchell, the only Bobcat in the Rockets backcourt. Back underway. Dribbling around. That's Wilson moving it out. There's a three from the near wing. That one goes in and out for Seth Hubbard. And the rebound is made by Mitchell. Mitchell up top. Searles. Moving it back to Mitchell. Mitchell dumps it inside. Clayton double teams. 10 seconds on the Bobcats timer. Searles working the near side block. 5 seconds to shoot it. And that pass is to be intercepted across the middle. That's Hubbard. Down the floor. Pass break opportunity. And that's blocked away. An offensive rebound is made. And then no good on the follow-up shot for Lewis. And now it's Ohio with the fast break. Taking it the other way. And that's going to be stripped away out of bounds. So back-to-back fast break opportunities and back-to-back great defensive plays as Pavletsky re-enters the game for the Bobcats.
Well, that was quite entertaining back and forth action there. I don't know who from the Bobcats got that hand on the ball for the block. 3 Bobcats crashed the boards there, trying to knock the ball away, but we play on.
Back underway, Clayton gets the inbound. Handing it back. Elliott, short corner. Driving the paint, jump stops at the near block and cannot get that one to go. Hubbard made a great defensive play.
Really tight defensive there as well. A lot of physical contact there underneath the basket.
And that basket is going to count from the charity stripe line. That was Sam Lewis ending the scoreless drought for Toledo. Ohio has not scored in nearly 2 minutes as well. Underneath. To the hoop, and that's no good from the far block for Mitchell, but he gets his own rebound. Nice pass ahead, and then lay it in. That was James. 31-27.
Mitchell and James' ability to soak up their contact inside the paint this half has been really impressive. And then getting that pass out to James, who found an open lane to the basket. Nice move. They're only down by 4 now.
Yeah, both teams ending the long scoring droughts. Back-to-back possessions. There's a 3 from the near wing. A lot of space on it. No good. Too much power under it for Hubbard. Ohio takes it the other way. To the corner. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul. A very obvious foul as Pavletsky fell down to the ground while driving because he was tripped up.
I was about to say, left out a pretty important fact there if it was obvious foul. I don't think he would just stumble over there. Probably one of the most obvious fouls we've had so far this game. It's been so physical between both teams.
Hubbard was a guilty party.
Guilty as charged.
Yes. Under 5 to play in the half. And that is a tip drill. Still loose. Both teams going for it. Toledo gets it. Nice 2-step move to the hoop. And the layup goes for Sam Lewis, All-MAC third team member. 33-27.
Yeah, Lewis now the first player this game to reach double figures, 11 points on 5 for 9 shooting.
Underneath, we're going to have a whistle and a foul, and going to the line to shoot for 2. This time will be Jackson Pavletsky. 4:37 in the half. Wilson will be the guilty party. When it comes to free throw percentage, Ohio 76.1% as a team. Pavletsky 76.3%. Makes his first free throw, and we were talking about it off air, Lucas, but he's someone who has a lot of experience in big games. He transferred over as a sophomore from Iowa State, where he played 33 games. They obviously played in the tournament last year, the Big Dance.
And it's pretty impressive to the MAC, any MAC team, but especially the Bobcats have always been a top team in the conference to land a transfer from Iowa State, and someone like Pavletsky that contributed very well against Iowa State last year, and someone who's been a very key player to Jeff Bowles in his first season wearing green and white.
2-for-2 trip for him, 33-29. Toledo with the basketball, drive, and in and out of the layup, an offensive rebound made, then no good. Simmons and Adams each had very good looks. Pavletsky the other way, up-tempo to the hoop, he goes, can't get it back, roll there, man. In and out. Hubbard now on Toledo's end, going to go end-to-end, and then he'll be fouled going up with it. It feels like these two teams are just matching each other's moves on every single possession.
I think it's safe to say that both coaches got their teams prepared watching film. They seem to know where every single player is going to be offensively every pass. It's just been the difference of who's getting to the ball first or who's just stronger down low. I mean, I've been harping on a lot with the physicality, but, man, I mean, the amount of times both these teams have drove to the basket or in the paint or just moving inside the arc has been unbelievable, just how much contact, how much double teaming there's been on both sides of the floor.
Mitchell was the guilty party of his second personal foul. Hubbard made his first free throw, 82.9%. Shooter from the line makes his second one as well, so the lead now back at 6. 4 minutes to play until the intermission. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer, Falcon Radio. Mid-American Conference Tournament quarterfinal game between the 4 and the 5 seeds. Winner plays Akron tomorrow. Pavletsky, nice pass. Move it out to Elliott. Elliott, spin move with 8 seconds to shoot it. Now Pavletsky takes a 3. Splash! 35-32. What a shot from him.
think I was more impressed with the move that Elliott made. My goodness, nice spin move in there and good outlet pass.
Then an air ball, wide open three from the far wing there for Wilson, but off the tip, an offensive rebound is made. And now Toledo going to slow it down with Sam Lewis. Lewis lost the basketball right to Pavletsky. It went up floor, up tempo. Nice move to the hoop. Can't make the layup though. Does James, and Toledo gets it back. Two-step move to the hoop, and then that one is going to fall in for Sonny Wilson. 37-32. He put it in from the middle of the paint, and a timeout will be called by Ohio. Down by 5 with 3:05 to go in the first half. We're going to step aside, come right back to Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Mid-American Conference Tournament quarterfinals between Toledo and Ohio. It's 37-32, the higher seed. Rockets lead this one. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer, thrilled to be with you as the horn rings here in Rocket Arena. Fun time of year.
March Madness almost upon us.
Yes.
It's tournament time for the conference, the MAC tournament as well, along with other conferences across the country. It's always one of my favorite times of the year. It's been a good tournament so far. It's been all favorites from women's and men's teams so far, so we could see our first upset if Ohio can win.
Yep, higher seed 4-0. Check that, I should say 5-0. Ohio basketball. Under 3.5. Working the far elbow. Moves it up top. James. Gets it back. Out. Hadaway. Moving it. Searles. In the middle of the paint. 6 seconds to shoot it. That's blocked away. Nice defensive play made by Sam Lewis. And with 4 seconds to shoot it, the Rockets will stay on defense.
Well, Lewis came from out of nowhere there to swat that one away. Nice defensive play again from the Rockets and from Lewis.
Pavletsky gets it back, takes a long two, and no good as the shot clock was expiring. An uncontested defensive rebound was made by Lewis. Wilson on the other end. Simmons working around the arc. Both these teams really start by passing it around the arc and trying to work their way inside. And there's a nice pass and then a reverse layup, no good underneath there by Lewis. Adams was the passer. Ohio gets it back. Pavletsky, nice outlet pass. There's a wide open three. It rings in and out for the junior. And Toledo gets it back with Adams.
And James is going to want to have that one back. It rattled in and out, but those are open threes you got to make.
Under 2 to play until the intermission. There's a fadeaway two. That's no good for Adams. And the defensive board is made by James. Ohio's gone scoreless for the last 2 minutes. Toledo's missed 5 of their last 6 shots. There's a deep 3 from the far wing. That is short and no good for Hadaway. And back to Toledo. Toledo has not scored in 99 seconds and counting. Simmons moving it back. Now with Wilson. Wilson takes a long 2. That's no good off the back iron. And Ohio gets it back. You know, Lucas, both these teams doing a really good job at sealing off the paint the last few minutes.
They have indeed, and the paint battle has been huge in this game. You have 18 Ohio points from the paint, 14 for Toledo, and been very physical inside the paint. But yeah, both teams have really sharpened up defensively.
A little bit of miscommunication there. It winds up being a turnover on Ohio's end. Toledo gets it back. 45 seconds on the game clock. Spin move at the cherry stripe, and that's short and no good there for Sam Lewis, the sophomore. Ohio gets it back yet again. Up-tempo, other side of the floor. In and out on the layup for Nicole. And then a whistle and a foul is going to be called. Count the basket.
Yeah, that was Hadaway again getting loose underneath the basket to grab that one, get the shot to go, and one. And that broke a near 3-minute scoring drought for Ohio.
Yeah.
For that basket, and that's a big basket there. Only down by 3, with just 34 seconds left.
Hadaway at the line. He'll shoot one as the officials stopping play at the moment. Not exactly sure what the issue was. Hadaway playing 7 minutes so far today, has 4 points. Hits his free throw, so now he has 5. Makes it a 2-point basketball game at 37-35. 30 seconds until the intermission, and we're getting a whistle and a timeout called by Toledo. It's just a 30-second one. Adams crossed midcourt and used the timeout. And smart timeout, Lucas, because you lose a timeout regardless going into the second half.
You do, and I think if you're Ohio, you want to get the lead heading into halftime, but if you're Rockets, you want to keep the lead. But this has been a back-and-forth contest here, not a lot separating each team. You look at the three-point shooting as well. It has been great from either side, 2 for 7 for Ohio. They've had a couple that just kind of rattle in and out, so they've been kind of unfortunate there not to get more to fall. Then you look at Toledo, 4 for 10, that's just good for just 40%. But like you mentioned, Kate, I mean, mainly this battle has been inside the paint.
Yes, really has. We'll see how that continues throughout the rest of the contest. Toledo trying to break a 2-minute and 37-second scoring drought. Both teams breaking their respective huddles. 24 seconds on the shot clock for Toledo, 28.3 seconds on the game clock.
And I know you and I are used to quarters because we've done so many women's basketball games this year, but I want to say the first half of this first half was a little bit more efficient offensively for both sides, and I think it's definitely the last 5 minutes or so in this game. You're seeing both teams really struggle shooting. I mean, Toledo was 1 for 8 in their last 8 attempts from field goal range. Ohio 1 for 7. So I think it's fair to say that it hasn't been as quite good offensively down the stretch in this first half.
Yeah, it really hasn't. Both teams were over 50% as well shooting for a little bit of a time as both teams retreated back into their huddles. Longer timeouts because we are here in the MAC tournament. We have all the national media here.
It's such a great experience always being here. This is my second year covering the MAC tournament, and love seeing all the different schools, different media people, different broadcasters, and all the people that come along with the tournament. It's a big end of season event that kind of gets everybody together, but obviously only one can come away victorious for both men and women, get that bid to NCAA tournament, which is what everyone wants to be. But now this tournament's great. This arena's great. Rocket Arena in Cleveland. Had a lot of success here this season, so it's been great. It's been a great experience so far, and we got the rest of this game. Got 2 games later today, and also got 4 semifinals tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. Friday, then the championships, obviously, on Saturday.
Fun week.
Get the missed class. I mean, what more can you want?
Toledo with Isaiah Adams set to inbound it. Whistle blows. We're back underway. Toledo just taking their time, trying to take as much time off the clock as they can with Wilson just dribbling around. 10 seconds on the Rockets timer. He'll drive, move it out. 7 seconds to shoot it. Back around the arc with Wilson. Now he's driving and he's going to put it in, fading away from the far block. 39-35. 2 seconds on the game clock. There's a three at the buzzer. No good. It goes off the backboard for Pavletsky, and that will bring us to the intermission with the score Toledo 39, Ohio 35. What a back and forth first half that was. We're going to step aside and we're going to come right back to Cleveland, Ohio in the Mid-American Conference Tournament quarterfinals for our halftime report. Don't go anywhere.
It's time now to see what's happening around BGSU. This Friday, it's the BGSU Shamrock Social at the Bowen Thompson Student Union Oval. This Falcons After Dark event will have giant games, inflatables, St. Patrick's Day t-shirts, and a Shamrock painting kit. Happening on Wednesday, the 19th, it's TEDx BGSU in the Student Union's multi-purpose room. Registration and a list of speakers can be found at bgsu.edu/TEDxBGSU. And midterm grading period runs now through the 16th. Instructors can report midterm grades at any time, so students are recommended to check their grades throughout this time. For a full list of events, visit events.bgsu.edu. I'm Nate. That's a look at what's happening around BGSU on Falcon Radio.
A few years ago, Steve Faircow's lungs were failing.
I don't think I had more than a couple weeks to live.
That's when Steve received a lung transplant made possible by an organ donor. Now Steve can do things he never imagined, like climbing 94 floors to the top of a skyscraper.
I never knew that breathing could feel this good. It's an incredible gift.
What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? But did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
On February 21st, 2025, BGSU men's basketball upset Toledo at Savage Arena for the first time since 2021, defeating the Rockets 69-68. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call of the game-winning moment on Falcon Radio.
Johnson inbounds to Campbell. They do not foul. Bowling Green marches into Savage Arena, exacts revenge on the Toledo Rockets. Rockets and gets a much-needed conference victory over their arch rivals, defeating Toledo 69-68. What an improbable win for the Bowling Green Falcons.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Rocket Arena here in Cleveland, Ohio. It is halftime between Toledo and Ohio, the 4 versus the 5 matchup in the quarterfinal. Toledo leading 39-35. My name's Caden Knapp. I'm thrilled to be with Lucas Kleinmeyer, and this is just game 2 of the quadruple header that we have on Falcon Radio today. Up next, Miami of Ohio will take on Eastern Michigan. Miami the 2, Eastern Michigan the 7. That game will be called by Artie Abrego and Henry Costco. And then the evening game is going to be a good one between Kent State and Western Michigan in a 3 versus 6 matchup. Lucas will be back on air with Tyler Kabelitz for that one. And Lucas, quite literally, the difference in this matchup between the Bobcats and the Rockets is the points in the paint. Toledo at 16, Ohio at 20. And then fast break point wise, Toledo's at 6 to Ohio 0.
That was actually just where I was about to go as well. So you read my mind again. I think we've done quite a few games this year together, so that does make sense. So yeah, the points in the paint have been the story in this game. In Ohio, 20 points in the paint, Toledo 16. That's where majority of the scoring has gone from in this game for both these teams, and that's where it's kind of been even right now for both teams. Not a lot separate these teams, just a 4-point lead for the Rockets, so that can change in the blink of an eye in the game of basketball. But also, too, rebounding has also been big in this game. 20 total rebounds for Toledo, 18 total rebounds for Ohio, and that's also been a category that's been very similar. Both teams have been kind of battled back and forth, as well. Both teams each have 13 defensive rebounds as well. So really not a whole lot separating each team. And then you look at the three-point shooting, as Lily mentioned as well. It hasn't changed since the last time we brought it up. 2 for 7 for Ohio and 4 for 10 for Toledo. So both teams still struggling shooting the 3 balls. So it's been very similar. Not a whole lot has separated both these teams, and it's only been a shot or two that has Toledo in front.
Yeah, and we were talking about it during the first half, but it's like one team takes a step forward, the other team also takes a step forward and do that same exact thing. Like there was a series of events where it was very up-tempo and both teams got a block underneath and they both made a layup, and it's like counter-punching kind of in a way.
Oh, it is. And we mentioned this too. 15 different scores in this game. 8 for the Bobcats, 7 for the Rockets. And you look at the scoring as well. Lewis is the only player in this game that has reached double figures for either side. For the Bobcats, Pavletsky has 9 points, but he leads the scores, and there's not a single Bobcat that has double figures yet. Obviously, that's going to change in the second half, but that's kind of eye-opening too, because it shows you just how spread out the scoring has been for both these teams, and sharing the ball has been big in this game as well. But you know, a player like Lewis, could we see him take over in the second half? I wouldn't be surprised either. I think Wilson has the capability to do so as well. We've seen Isaiah Adams have a couple of big baskets as well in this game. But for the Bobcats too, I think you really need one of the trio of Pavletsky, Clayton, or James to step up. Clayton had a very quiet first half, just 2 points.
And, I mean, that was eerily similar to Chella Watson's first half yesterday, only scoring 5 points.
Why you got to remind me, man? Why you got to remind me?
But yeah, she's a very good player. And then Clayton, of course, also a very good player. And like we said, he's the leader of this team, leads the team with 14.2 points per game. So you'd expect him to get a lot more opportunities in the second half and get the basketball a lot more.
Indeed, and I think that goes both ways as well. I don't think Simmons for Toledo had a big half as well, 2 points, 3 rebounds. He didn't really have a big half as well, and I think same thing with Clayton, as we mentioned. I think both those players need to get going from their respective sides. Sharif Mitchell is also someone for OU you can't sleep on as well. He has been had a couple of bright moments in that first half, and he's very elusive, as we mentioned, as well. And I think he's also pretty impressive as well. Wilson, 6 points and 7 rebounds, so he's 4 points and 3 rebounds away from a double-double.
Yeah, in rebounding, I feel like it's going to be another category that really separates these two teams from each other, and the team that wins is probably going to have more.
It honestly does, to compare it to another game this tournament, it does feel kind of similar to that Kent State and Miami women's quarterfinal game that happened yesterday, where it was even, and Kent State went on that large run that kind of separated them from the Red Hawks, and then they kind of just kept their distance from the rest of the game. I think we could see something like that happen here in the second half, both teams going back and forth. I think if you get one big run from either the Rockets or the Bobcats, that could really put a damper on one of these teams' hosts because of just how evenly matched they've been.
Yeah, and if you're the Rockets this season, they're 14-1 when they're leading heading into the intermission. So what do you think Jeff Bull's message to his team is right now?
Well, I think they need to continue matching that physicality with the Rockets. Both teams like to play that physical style of basketball, but they got to knock down a couple more threes, in my opinion. Only 7 attempts from beyond the arc isn't really good enough to beat Toledo, and only making 2 in 20 minutes is not good enough either. So I think if they can hit a couple more shots from beyond the arc for three-point range, I think they could put themselves in a much better position as well. Outside of that, I don't know what else you really can say besides just keep up the physicality, keep battling with them. But I think knocking down more triples will be very helpful.
And then finally, if you're Coach Todd Kowalczyk, what is your message to the Rockets?
I think it is something similar as well, but I think also as well, I think if they can get to the free throw line more, that would be very important too. Both teams only had 4 attempts from the charity stripe. Both shot 3 from 4, but if you're Toledo, I think they've done a good job baiting Ohio into those situations where they've given the officials a chance to call a foul and get them to the charity stripe and knock down a couple free throws because, again, this game, it could come down to just free throws since it's so tight. And I think if you can get Lewis, Wilson, even Adams to the free throw line, I think that would be very beneficial to Toledo. So just drawing more of those fouls and baiting the Bobcats into getting into foul trouble towards the end.
Well, we're going to go to one more break before we start half number 2 of this one. Toledo leading Ohio by a score of 39-35. Don't go anywhere, Falcon Radio.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. That's the scent of shopping success, because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
On November 1st, 2024, BGSU men's soccer defeated nationally ranked Western Michigan for the first time in a decade. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer was on the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
History has been made here at Cochran Stadium for the first time in 37 regular season matches for the Western Michigan Broncos, and for the first time in a decade, the Bowling Green Falcons take down the Western Michigan Broncos by a final score of 3-0 here at Cochran Stadium. Wow!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Hello, my name is Reiko Badurov. I play for the BGSU men's soccer team, and these are my Falcon 4 breakfast items. Number 1, I'd say, is eggs. Just good protein, good way to start off the day. Also really like waffles, just so good. You can put chocolate chips, whipped cream on it, it's amazing. Same thing with French toast, love like the cinnamon taste to it. And then I'd say yogurt too. Yogurt and granola, can't go wrong with that. So those are my 4.
Follow and engage with BG Falcon Media on social media. Find the handle at BG Falcon Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for all sorts of content, including news information, BGSU athletics coverage, and feature stories from across campus. Enjoy specialty content such as full episodes of the local music showcase, Live and Loud. The coverage continues with BG Falcon Media on all major social platforms.
Half number 2 between Toledo and Ohio is here with 4 points separating these two squads in favor of the Rockets 39-35. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer. This is one has been a fun one. The winner to play Akron tomorrow in the evening. 1-seeded Akron got the victory over Bowling Green just before this game started. A lot of Akron fans still in attendance watching this one. Toledo will start with the basketball this half as a new 20 minutes go on the clock. They'll be going to the eastern side of the arena rather than the west. That's where Ohio will be going. Each team ready to go.
Are they ready to rock and roll since we're in Cleveland?
Sure, we can go with
Rock
that.
and Roll Hall of Fame.
Back underway with Wilson. Moving back to Adams.
You need to start picking up what I'm throwing down, Caden.
I got it. I knew the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was here.
There you go.
Adams driving the baseline. He cannot lay it in, but right there to tip it in is Javen Simmons, standing at 6'7". He used every bit of his height there, Lucas.
He did, and I mentioned he's a player that need to get going in the second half, and a good early start here for Simmons.
Ohio, nice pass inside of the hoop. That is no good for Mitchell, and out of bounds it goes. That was James, the passer. I believe they said it's going to stay with the Bobcats, and it will.
They will. I think Lewis was pointing to Clayton, saying, "Hey, it's last off of him," but official says, "Nope, no siree."
Pavleski inbounds it to Clayton. Clayton stopping at the far elbow, double team. He'll be fouled. A little too physical there. We'll see who they assign the foul to. It's going to be Bryce Ford, his second, and he really has not had a fantastic game today. Yet to get into the scoring column. Averages 7.5 points per game. He's scored double digits in 10 different MAC games this season. As Clayton can't hold on to that one. It goes out of bounds. Not a good pass from James either. Goes down as a turnover.
And that's just sloppiness a little bit there. Just not being on the same page as your teammate there. And not quite the start you want in the first minute of the second half. Down by 6, which isn't a lot, but it's probably one of the largest leads Toledo's had so far this game.
Wilson. Moving back. 15 seconds on the Rockets timer. Inside. That one Lewis. Lewis working the near elbow. Moves it to the other elbow. 3 seconds to shoot it. Wilson goes up with it. No good off the back iron. And then a tip drill. And the rebound is made defensively by Mitchell. Other end, going end to end by himself, and no good goes the shot. It was tipped away from behind, and Ford takes it the other way. And then a whistle, and an offensive foul is going to be called away from the ball to the dismay of Javen Simmons.
Well, you can guess who is the guilty party on that on that foul with Simmons, and 4 points, 4 rebounds, but that's his second personal, so something to maybe keep an eye on here the final 18 minutes and change.
Ohio going scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 8 seconds, stretching back into first half of gameplay. Pavletsky over to Clayton. Mitchell. Toledo trying to seal off the inside. There's a whistle and a foul. Count the basket from the near block that went in for Aiden Evans.
I think that was Elliott.
Elliott.
No, was it Elliott? Yeah.
Oh, it was Elliott. I thought it was a 5, not a 6. My bad there. Makes it 41-37.
Because after the basket, Elliott stared down over Bryce Ford there. That's Bryce Ford's third personal foul. But what a finish there from Elliott.
18:08. That ends the scoring drought as well in a big way as the free throw is up and good. Cuts the deficit to one possession at 41-38. Toledo now has not scored in 93 seconds. Both teams trading off scoring droughts. Simmons around the arc, hands it back. Quick passing with Lewis. Lewis inside.
Oh, what a pass.
Nice turnaround shot. Falls. That's Isaiah Adams.
That is an unbelievable pass from Lewis. To find Isaiah Adams underneath. What a pass. Past 3 Bobcats.
I don't know how he zipped it in there. As that is going to be poked away. Get it back does Elliott. Pavletsky driving from the near wing. And nice pass by him to Elliott. And then a quick pass out. There's a 3 to the top of the key. In and out that one goes. It was Mitchell, the shot taker, and the defensive rebounder was Isaiah Adams. Now he's going to take a 3 from the far wing. That is no good. And then it's going to be tipped away out of bounds by a diving Seth Hubbard. He really tried to save that one.
He did, and I think both players are a little bit late recognizing it. Both players colliding with one another, and ball goes out of play. But Toledo has done well there to keep this lead. It's very small, but Ohio's not going away yet.
Under 17 to play in regulation, and that's going to be tipped away out of bounds. The tipper of that ball was Sam Lewis, Chicago, Illinois native. Pavletsky retrieves the inbound. 7 seconds to shoot it for the Bobcats. Pavletsky dribbling around the arc now at 4 seconds. He's going to have to take a shot from the top of the key, and in and out that one goes. And another defensive board is made by Adams. He has 4 rebounds today. Other end, no good. Too much power under the layup. And then a whistle and out of bounds it goes to the Bobcats. Last touched by Simmons.
Still haven't had a Bobcat yet reach double figures yet. Pavletsky could have with that 3. Only Lewis and now Adams for the Rockets in double figures. Lewis with 11 and Adams with 10.
Pavletsky taking across the midcourt barrier. So back to Elliott. Now James around the arc. Pavletsky driving from the far wing, and that's going to fall. Nice turnaround layup for him.
Speaking of double figures, first Bobcat.
Underneath pass and a whistle, and I believe we got a foul called, so Simmons will go to the line, I believe is what they're going to say. Yes, Simmons will go to the line. So the foul was committed by Elijah Elliott from Orlando, Florida. Simmons, 75% from the line this year. 16 minutes and 3 seconds left in regulation. In and out on the first free throw. He was an All-MAC honorable mention. Trying to make it a 2-possession game. Puts a free throw up and made the second one. 44-40. Pavletsky up the floor, crossing the midcourt barrier. Now it's Elmore James with the basketball, moving it to the near corner of Pavletsky. Back to James. He falls down, and then back to Pavletsky. They're just passing to each other. Now it's Mitchell in the corner. Back to Pavletsky. He's really running the offense this possession. 5 seconds to shoot it, working at the elbow. Now he's going to travel.
And that ruined what would have been a very big basket for Ohio. They did so well to keep that alive, not once but twice, diving for loose balls, but then just simple lack of judgment, but also just lack of concentration there, just losing your concentration with the ball and just traveling. I mean, that kills what probably could have been a momentum swinger.
It really did, as it's 44-40 heading into the media timeout. Don't go anywhere. This is the MAC Tournament quarterfinals on Falcon Radio.
On January 31st, 2025, BGSU senior forward Jackson Niedermeyer scored a game-winning goal in overtime on the road against Northern Michigan, notching BG 2 points and securing Niedermeyer's first multi-point game as a Falcon. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Larson with the shot, taken away by Bowling Green. This is Jackson Niedermeyer, takes it up the right wing, looking for a pass, now looking for a shot, he scores! Jackson Niedermeyer, the overtime winner with a buck left in overtime. And Bowling Green takes the much-needed extra point. What a wrist shot.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call. Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here in Cleveland, Ohio, 15:36 to play in the second half. It's 44-40 in favor of the Rockets, still out in front of this one. Caden Knapp, Lucas Clymer, thrilled to be with you. And Lucas, both these teams starting 2 of 6 this half from the floor, scoring 5 points each.
Yeah, both teams definitely haven't gotten the start they want offensively in this second half. You have both teams shooting under 50% from the floor so far in this game. But a lot can change, and I think the silver lining for the Bobcats who have been down for a majority of this game is you're still only down by 4. It's still been a very close game throughout, no matter the many runs Toledo's gone on. And I mentioned earlier that Toledo's largest lead was 6, and that's still indeed the case, just 6 points.
As we're waiting for the refs to blow the whistle, get an inbounds. Lorenzen into the game for the Rockets. We're back underway. Wilson goes to the far corner. Now they're working the baseline with Simmons. Simmons trying to find room on Searles. He goes to the hoop and in and out. That one goes, but he was fouled, so he's going to get free throws. It's going to be Vic Searles, the guilty party. 6'9" graduate student.
Searles is a player that's had a fight for a lot of his playing time this season. He has appeared in all games this season, has played 4, but you see his minutes are not as high as some of those starters as well.
Simmons' first free throw is good. He's now 2 of 3 from the charity stripe today. Awaiting shot number 2. That's no good. Rebound is made defensively by James, the junior guard. Pavletsky getting it over to Elmore James. Now Mitchell, and then we have a whistle, and a foul is going to be called away from the ball. I believe this is going to be on Toledo, and it's going to be Seth Hubbard, the guilty party of his second. And Lucas, through the first 20 minutes, Toledo had committed 6 fouls. Now through the first 5 minutes of this half, they've committed 4.
Don't know if this is the change.
Searles to the hoop, whistle, foul, count the basket. The pump fake worked out for him as he had a lot of space underneath.
And I was about to say, I don't think the officials are calling more ticky-tack fouls. I think it's just been the timing of the fouls. I think they're having contact with the Bobcats in the worst areas, and that was on display there.
That was Seth Hubbard committing yet another foul, guilty party of his 3rd. Searles, 66.7% from the charity stripe this season. Free throw up and good. Rolled in and out, then off the backboard and back in. 2-point differential on the scoreboard at 45-43, under 15 to play in regulation. Toledo, 1 of their last 4 from the floor. There's a wide open long 2 that is no good off the back arm, but offensive rebound made. Now a 3 from the far wing, and that is no good. Back-to-back missed shots by Lewis. Back-to-back offensive rebounds, though, Toledo resets their offense with Wilson. Hubbard still in there despite having 3 fouls, working up top. 8 seconds to shoot it. Double team. Moves it over. There's Wilson inside. We have a whistle. The offensive foul is going to be called on Simmons.
Yeah, I think Simmons just way too much contact there. Fully extended both the arms, just pushed the Bobcat defender down to the ground, and that was disappointing because Wilson kept that spell alive not once but twice, kicking out those rebounds. Toledo couldn't convert the shot, and he had a nice bounce pass inside to find Simmons, but Simmons again there, just too much contact, couldn't disguise that physicality there.
Yeah, and how about Hadaway taking that despite just being back from injury? He took a tumble. We could hear the thump from up here.
We did indeed.
So we're back underway with Bobcats possessing the basketball. And Pavletsky. AJ Clayton's not in the game right now for the Bobcats, interestingly enough. Searles working his way to the basket, go up with it, and that's going to go in! The ledger is evened. 5-0 run over the last minute 21 now to the hoop, and that'll uneven the ledger. Wilson said enough of that.
Well, the Bobcats worked so hard to finally get the game tied, but the Rockets come right back and score there. What a big basket there from Wilson.
Their largest lead of the game was 3. As that's taken away from Searles. Adams wound up with it. Other end of the floor, whistle, and the foul is going to be called away from the ball, I do believe. They're going to assign it to Pavletsky, his first personal. Team's third. By the way, if Toledo commits one more foul, they'll put the Bobcats in the bonus. And we still have 13-18 to play. Working around the arc to the hoop, and that's going to go in from the far block. That was Wilson driving in from the far wing.
Couple of big baskets there from Wilson, puts them in double figures, now 10 on 5 for 12 shooting and 9 rebounds. 1 rebound away from a double-double.
Pavletsky draws the contact, and the foul is called. It's going to go against Isaiah Adams of Toledo. And that means free throws incoming for the junior. 76.3% from the line this year. He gets a one-on-one. And Lucas, you mentioned free throws so many times throughout this broadcast, and from here on out, every single Toledo defensive foul will result in free throws for the Bobcats as the first free throw is good.
Yep, and they've shot good so far in this game now, 6 for 7. If you look at them on the season, there's 74%. Well, that's Toledo's, never mind. That if you look at their shooting this season, 76% from the line. They've an average 15 made free throws per game. So that's pretty good for a team that's up in the upper echelon of the conference.
2 for 2 trip for Pavletsky. Makes it 49-47. Toledo slowing the momentum with Wilson. And over to Adams. Adams making a move. Hubbard driving in, takes the shot, and no good. It goes off the front iron, and the rebound is made by Pavletsky off the deflection. Pavletsky making moves at the far wing, spin move, go up with it, whistle, foul, count the basket!
That's such an incredible finish there from Pavletsky there, Caden. Nice spin move, took the contact again and got it to go and won.
Jackson Pavletsky has a chance to give the Bobcats its first lead since the 14-13 mark of the first half. Knotted at 49, 12:20 to play. Looks like we have a substitution on Toledo's end. Javen Simmons into the game for Owinga. Simmons, Lewis, Ford, Wilson, and Adams on the floor for the Rockets. Free throw up and good to convert the good old-fashioned three-point play and give the Bobcats the lead. On the floor, Pavletsky, Mitchell, Sheldon, Hadaway, and Searles for them. Crowd getting loud here in Rocket Arena.
Traveling Bobcat faithful on their feet, trying to give the defense some support.
Moving it around the arc, 10 seconds to shoot it. Ohio putting on the pressure. Driving is Adams to the hoop. That's blocked away, but not legally, say the officials. Sheldon is going to be guilty of a foul. And that'll bring us to our under 12 media timeout with the score 50-49. Ohio in the lead of this quarterfinal game. What a contest it has been right here on Falcon Radio. Do not go anywhere.
What's going on, guys? I'm Darius Lorfields, junior safety here at BG. My Falcon 4 favorite things for homecoming is definitely seeing some of the alumni, the big crowd, hearing them roar. The Falcon Walk pregame, getting to see more people, and then just winning the game overall and celebrating after. Go Falcons.
Titans, go! When the Teen Titans go to the movies, they know the best way to travel is safely. Hollywood, here we come! Budget! And you know it's super. To keep your child safe, be sure to use the right car seat for their age and size.
Exactly.
I know you're feeling.
We're finally on the big screen.
Have a seat, my dude. For more information on finding the right seat, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Gotcha. That's a wise move.
It's an Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
BG Authors is a campus organization dedicated to highlighting authors connected to the university. BGSU has produced some amazing authors, including Beth Macy, James Baldwin, and Tim Conway, to name a few. Visit bgauthors.com and subscribe to the blog that regularly updates on new releases, classics, non-BGSU authors, and other features such as book versus movie. That's BG Authors at bgauthors.com.
Toledo has led this game by as much as 8 points. Right now they trail 50-49, but they're at the free throw line to try and give themselves back the lead, or at the very least tie it with 11:53 to play in regulation. Caden Knapp alongside Lucas Kleinmeyer here in Cleveland, Ohio in the MAC Tournament 2025 edition. And it's safe to say this has been a fun one.
It has been indeed, and something that stuck out to me at halftime, but also during this last break was we haven't had a three-pointer made in this second half quite yet. Still 2 for 8 for Ohio, 4 for 12 now for Toledo. Both teams just a combined 6 total threes so far this game. It's not been the best shooting day for either team, especially from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and that both coaches are aware of that, so they're telling their team, don't take those low percentage shots because we're not making them.
I mean, we just haven't seen many attempts, as you can tell from the numbers, especially from the Bobcats. But like we said, it's been the story of the game, has been that battle in the mid-range, but also the battle inside the paint.
Free throw one is good for Isaiah Adams. He's 81.3% from the line this year. 50 all. Now awaiting free throw number 2, the transfer from Buffalo. Gives Toledo the lead once again. 4th time they've led this game. Hadaway working the far wing, inside pass. Pavletsky moves it out. Talk about quick passing. Mitchell driving in on Ford, goes up with it. No good, short on his shot from the middle of the paint, and the rebound made in the far corner by Simmons.
It's another defensive battle in the paint, but another battle that Toledo wins in a big fashion, trying to get their lead back to a couple of digits.
There's a fadeaway, up and good. Splash it in, does Isaiah Adams. 53-50. Other side of the floor, up tempo. We have a whistle and a foul, and more free throws are coming for Pavletsky. Isaiah Adams guilty of his 3rd personal foul.
I don't think Pavletsky cares if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, even all 5 Toledo players in the paint. He's going to drive and try to take up a shot. He's one of the few players in the MAC that I've seen this season especially the men's side, that seems to have no recollection or no memory every time he drives into the paint. He has one mode, and it's all gas, no brakes.
First free throw is good. He scored 22 in the game against Toledo back on January the 28th. Having another good meeting against them, and then in and out in the second free throw. 53-51. 11 to play. And then that's tipped away and out of bounds it goes. It's going to go to Ohio, say the officials. Big mistake put on by the Rockets there. Not a good pass. Hadaway will be the inbounder from the 3/4 of a court line. Back into the game is A.J. Clayton. He's driving, now double team, goes up with it and has that blocked away.
Man.
And then he took a hard fall to the ground and he's still on the ground.
Well, he was double teamed by 2 Rockets there. Both players were trying to strip the ball away from him and he's trying to put the shot. And as the shot went up, he couldn't put any hand out in time to kind of grace his fall, so he kind of almost went head first into the floor.
He did get right back up, though. It's Pavletsky, 7 seconds to shoot it, driving in from the far wing, up with it, and good from the far block. Again, 2 Rockets were right in front of him. Didn't matter. We're even at 53, and then a whistle and a foul on the other end. We're going to see more free throws with Wilson this time, driving one end to the other. A.J. Sheldon, the guilty party of his second personal. Ohio has now outscored Toledo 32-22 in the paint.
I think one thing to note, too, as you mentioned there, with Shelton picking up his second personal foul, Seth Hubbard is now 1 away from fouling out, too, so that's something very important to watch as well. Just 6 points for Hubbard. A little bit of a quiet day, but 1 away from fouling out. Still been a very important player from the Rockets off the bench.
Free throw 1 is good to make it 54-53. Free throw 2 up and good as well. 10:27 to play. 2-point lead. And Toledo bring on a full court press. Trying to disrupt the Ohio offense. Pavletsky. Moving it over to James. James working around the arc. Back to Pavletsky the other way now. Nice pass to the corner. There's Clayton. 3. Splash! Splash! Ohio's back in the lead. He knocked it in for the near corner. There's a 2 on the other end, and just like that, Toledo swipes the lead back. That was Lewis splashing it in. 2-step move to the hoop, and now a whistle and a foul. We're going to get Elmore James free throws at the 9:51 mark. Adams wanted a jump ball, did not get that.
That is now the second or third time this game we've seen Ohio answer either tying the game or taking the lead with a go-ahead basket, and then Toledo comes back, not even 5 seconds of time, and just answer right back in transition very fast. Give the Rockets credit. I mean, that's so good to not get down either if you're tying or finally being down by themselves, but then just coming back right back and then tying the game back or retaking the lead.
Free throw 1 is good to even us at 57.
Yeah, see, A.J. Clayton's form there in that 3 was very Nikola Jokic-X.
Yeah. We've been tied 9 times now as the free throw is no good, the second one. So we stay tied. Each team has led this game 5 times.
It's been a good one, that's for sure.
Underneath, and now another foul is going to be called. This time it's Adams who was fouled. Right now, Ohio's in the double bonus. Toledo is on their way to being in the bonus. Ohio has committed 6 fouls as a team this half. Adams. First free throw is good. Another lead change.
Crazy, and I think this is the way it's going to be for man of the game, like we mentioned. But I think also too, if one of these teams go on a big run, it could be too much to come back with just how hard it's been to score this game.
Waiting free throw number 2.
Also, that Clayton 3 was the first 3 made from either team this half.
Good. 59-57. Yeah, and a good time for it as well.
Indeed, as well. And he's only had 5 points in this game, Clayton, so it's only his second basket made. It's been just a very quiet game for him.
Possesses the basketball right now. Hadaway with it up top. Now Mitchell the other way. Finds Clayton, takes another 3. That one no good from the far wing. Rebound made by Toledo. They have a 3-on-2 advantage at the end of the floor. No good on the layup there by Wilson. And then out of bounds it goes. The Rockets will keep it.
Interesting enough there, after that missed shot from Wilson that was missed, all 5 Rocket players crashed the boards. They were all 5 by either by the charity stripe or underneath the basket there, trying to win back that paint battle, because right now Howe's winning that 32-22.
Hubbard back in the game despite having the 4 personal fouls. There's a long 2 that is no good there for Lewis. Offensive rebounds made, and then underneath we're going to have a blocked shot. Good defense put on. Simmons, no good. Other side, Clayton takes a 3. No good. That goes from the near wing, and another defensive board. This time it's Simmons. Other side of the floor, up tempo to the hoop, and blocked away by Clayton. He said no to the one-handed slam. And we're going to get more whistles, this time with 8:40 to play. Elmore James will be guilty of a foul.
Well, what a sequence that was. I mean, back and forth, and what a block there from Clayton. Rejected one hand, full extension. Getting that to go, but then James just commits a little silly foul there on Simmons.
Free throw up and good for Simmons. 7 points for him, 3 of 5 from the charity stripe. The lead is 3 for the Rockets. They're on a 5-1 run, make it 6-1, as free throw number 2 is good. And this run has been sparked by the 2 missed 3s by Clayton. Mitchell. Dribbling around the top of the key. He'll drive inside, stutter step, go to the hoop, and he got it to ring in. 61-59. I think everyone held their breath for a second there.
They probably did, indeed. I mean, that was such a good shot again from the Bobcats, and again, they had a lot of success in and around the paint.
Nice pass underneath, and another even better one to set up Hubbard, but a travel is going to be called.
Yeah, they're going to get Simmons on that travel there, and made a very nice pass there with his left no-look pass, but then, you know, just a second too late.
Yeah.
We got that off a little bit. Probably could have got to Hubbard, but close, but no cigar.
And now we're going to have a whistle and out of bounds. Bringing us to a media timeout. 61-59 the tally. Toledo in front of this MAC quarterfinal game. Don't go anywhere. This is Falcon Radio.
Today we decided to walk to school.
The light counted.
15, 14.
41, 31, 13. We
Took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted.
I
Realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
Even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
This one setting up for a photo finish between Toledo and Ohio, the 4 versus the 5 seed in this 2025 edition of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. 61-59. The tally, Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer. And this break is a big one for really both these teams.
It is indeed, and again, not a lot separating both teams, just a 2-point lead for the Rockets. Not a 3-pointer made for Toledo in this second half at all. It's been so physical down low this entire game, but both teams still battling it out. Toledo is winning the rebound battle by quite some margin now. They're winning it by 8, 34-26, which is pretty impressive as well. And they've also had 6 more offensive rebounds in them, giving them a chance for some second chance points.
Yeah, and we said at halftime the rebounding would be very, very important. With 7:57 to go. It will be Ohio basketball. Toledo had poked it away out of bounds prior to the media timeout. Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining, 2 30-second ones and 1 full one. Looks like both teams are going to need them in the late goings of this one.
We really haven't talked a whole lot about points off turnovers. There haven't been a lot of turnovers in this game. There's been 17 combined, 9 for Ohio, 8 for Toledo. And only 10 points off of Toledo turnovers that Ohio has gotten, and just 8 for Toledo.
Clean basketball. Elliott back into the game, spinning around, had that stripped away and out of bounds it goes. That was Adams who got a hand on it for Toledo. So it'll stay with the Bobcats. Pavletsky is set to inbound it. He'll get it into Clayton, a senior. Back inside it goes. Searles spinning, goes up with it and gets it to fall. Talk about a highly contested shot. We're even at 61 this time.
Searles has been so impressive in this second half as well. He has 9 points now, 1 away from double figures. He's second in scoring for the Bobcats, tied at 61.
Big possession for Toledo with Lewis. 10 seconds in the Rockets timer. He's going to drive. He's going to go up with it from the MAC logo in the paint. No good. And then there to rebound it defensively was Jackson Pavletsky. Other end of the floor. There's a 3 for the top of the key. That's going to fall. Sharif Mitchell, the All-MAC honorable mention, gives Ohio the lead once again, this time at 64-61.
His second 3 made of the afternoon, and it comes in a huge time to give the Bobcats a lead. Now in double figures, Mitchell with 10 points.
Toledo has gone scoreless for the last minute and 45 seconds. Moving it around the arc. Lewis driving with 10 to shoot it. Moves it back to Adams. Adams driving from the far wing, and he's going to lay it in from the near block. Talk about footwork. 64-63. Pavletsky lobs it inside for Searles, creating space for himself. No good. And it's because he was fouled from behind. And that was kind of a lose-lose situation for Javen Simmons, Lucas.
It was. His body positioning wasn't great on that. He's right behind. He's behind the Bobcat. He's behind Searles there, and he doesn't move his. He's just continuously trying to reach the ball, so it's an easy behind the back call. I mean, you got to be smart there with your positioning there if you're trying to either knock the ball away or just grab it and rip it away from his arms.
That's his 4th personal foul as well.
And I got to say, a lot of his personal fouls this afternoon have been plays like that, where his positioning's been off, the timing of his either swipe or jump or however his foul's been called has just been off. It's just been a second or two off, and he puts himself in these bad positions.
Awaiting free throw number 2 is at 65-63.
It's frustrating, too, because of how good he's 8 points, but 8 rebounds as well. I mean, close to a double-double as well. He's good in both categories, and he'll make it 9 rebounds.
Short on the second free throw. It's Wilson taking it to the floor. He has a double-double right now. 12 points, leads the team with 11 rebounds. And that's going to be taken away. It was just stripped. Other side of the floor, two-step move to the hoop. That's blocked away from behind, but right to Mitchell it goes, and he's going to lay it in. It was Elliott who set him up. 67-63, a whistle and a foul. This is Ohio's largest lead of the contest, and it's at the 5:42 mark of regulation. We're going to see free throws for Toledo and Javen Simmons. He's gone to the line the most times today for the Rockets. This is his 4th time at the stripe. He hits his first free throw to make it 67-64. So we have a quick substitution on Ohio side. Elmore James back into the game. Elijah Elliott out. James, Pavletsky, Clayton, Mitchell, and Searles in the game, as a second free throw is good to make it 67-65, and a timeout will be called by Coach Todd Kowalczyk. It is going to bring us to a media timeout. 5:42 to play in the half. It's 67-65. The Bobcats in front of this one on Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere.
On November 15th, 2024, BGSU Hockey defeated St. Thomas in a shootout, courtesy of a game winner by defenseman Jack Blake. Falcon Media Sports Network's voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak, had the call of the moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And Jack Blake, for all the glory, trying to put this one away. With the puck, taking it around, far side wheel, working in with the shot, and he fills it! Jack Blake with the shootout winner! First time in the lineup this season, and Jack Blake is the hero as Bowling Green mobs him.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Ever wanted to hear what a BGSU coach or player says after a game? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to watch post-game press conferences for all BGSU home volleyball, soccer, football, hockey, and basketball games.
Ohio has led for 5 minutes and 40 seconds today. That's 16.5% of the game. They lead right now 67-65 with 5:42 to play in the second half. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer, thrilled to be with you. And like we mentioned earlier, Lucas, all that matters is who's leading at the end.
I think that statement has never been more true than this game. Been so back and forth, and Toledo held on there, had like a 3, 4, 5 point lead there for quite some time, but the Bobcats have stormed back here, had the lead a couple times, just been back and forth this entirety game, especially the second half. I think we're going to have another cinematic finish here. We had a good finish, obviously, last game with Buffalo and Bowling Green. Not the outcome Falcons wanted, but probably the best game of the tournament nonetheless, and this one is definitely giving a run for its money as well. Just two really good basketball teams and physical, to say the least.
Back underway. Pavletsky taking up the floor. And we've been privileged enough to call these fun games.
We did. Whoever made the schedule did a very good job.
I wonder who that was. 18 seconds to shoot it. James. Inside to Searles. Searles double team, gets it out. 10 seconds down the Bobcats timer. Mitchell, 6 seconds, up top. James, 4 seconds, got to take a shot. He will take the turnaround. Jay, it's short and no good. And then a whistle and a foul is going to be called. So Toledo bailing out Ohio.
Yeah, they're going at Adams here. He was bear hugging Searles from down below. I mean, that was a pretty easy call. Searles had no separation and couldn't turn his body around to try to even contest for that rebound.
So 2 free throws incoming because Ohio is in the double bonus right now. By the way, that's the 4th personal foul committed by Adams. The foul's just really starting to pile up for Toledo.
That's a big one, too. Adams leads the Rockets in scoring with 18 points on 6 from 12 shooting. You do not want him to foul out.
Free throw number 1 is good to make it 68-65. 5:11 to play. Everyone on their edge of the seat. Free throw number 2 also good. 2-possession game at 69-65. Ohio fans standing up to cheer on their squad. Simmons. Will be around the arc. Toledo's hit 1 of their last 6 shots. Ohio 4 of their last 5. They're trending in completely opposite directions. 8 seconds on the Rockets timer. Now Hubbard takes a 3 from the top of the key. No good. That one goes. And the rebound is made at the far block by Sharif Mitchell.
They get now 4 for 13 from three-point shooting now for the Rockets.
Mitchell goes fearlessly up with it. No good from the near block. And Toledo gets it back once more with Wilson. Wilson. Now he's going to drive from the far block. Nice pass. And then a whistle and a foul will be called. And, you know, anytime you leave your feet, it's dangerous. And Searles is going to get assigned with that foul there. Adams to the line.
Pretty easy one. I mean, mistimed his jump, and as he was falling, because trying to block that from behind on Adams, he was over the back of Adams. So an easy call there for the officiating crew.
Free throw 1 is good. And with Adams, I mean, he didn't even really attempt the shot because he knew we're in the bonus. He was like, I'm just going to brace myself and take the foul. 4:23 to go. Free throw 2, up and in and out. Stays a 3-point contest. Pavletsky the rebound for Ohio. Crossing the MAC logo at center court. Mitchell. Back to Pavletsky. Nice pass underneath to the hoop. That's blocked away. But they got it right back to Hadaway, and then a nice move and a whistle. And a foul is going to be called, so a little too good of a move as Hubbard fell to the ground. It's an offensive foul on Elmore James. His 3rd personal.
It's a big one as well. I mean, Howard did well to keep that play alive, but Elmore James a little too strong there leading with that right shoulder.
Hubbard up top. Heading it back the other way with Lewis. Simmons to the hoop and no good. Mitchell there defensively. We'll see if Ohio tries to slow down the tempo. Looks like they will with Pavletsky just dribbling slowly. 94-second scoring drought and counting for the Bobcats. Pavletsky making moves around Hubbard. Now to the corner. Drive the baseline does James. Passes it out and around. Now Mitchell working the cherry stripe. 5 seconds to shoot it. Pavletsky driving up with it. Good in the middle of the paint. Man, he's had a fantastic game. Up over 20 points.
How about taking the shot clock all the way down to 1 second for the biggest basket so far of the game to extend the lead to 5 with under 3 minutes to play? What a job there from Pavletsky.
71-66. Double team on Adams and a whistle, and they're going to assign a foul to Ohio. So that's going to mean Toledo will get free throws on the other side of the media timeout. 71-66 this one, setting up for a fantastic finish. Don't go anywhere. This is Falcon Radio.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
A message from the U.S. EPA.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Toledo has not scored in the last minute and 31 seconds. They trail 71-66 with 2:52 to go in regulation. They've led 68.3% of this game, but when it matters the most, they're trailing as it stands right now. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer. Free throws for Isaiah Adams. As we said at the intermission, Toledo 14-1 this season when leading at the break.
Well, I did mention too, Caden, that Stars are going to have to shine here in the last minutes or so, and the Iowa State transfer Pawelecki, 21 points on 7 for 11 shooting, 6 for 7 from the charity stripe. He has been huge down the stretch here with a couple of big baskets. Seems to be Pawelecki versus Isaiah Adams here down the stretch. Adams down 20+.
Free throw number 2 is good. 71-68. Pawelecki. Up the floor he goes. He looks very calm, cool, and collected right now.
He does indeed.
Which is exactly what you want out of a player in a tournament game. Winner, go home. Nice two-step move to the hoop, and no good. Too much power under Pawelecki's layup from the near block. Toledo taking it the other way. Hubbard, full steam ahead, and a whistle, and out of bounds, I believe. We actually got a foul first. And that's going to be Hadaway committing his third.
So now you got, if Hadaway's third, the third Bobcat now with 3 personal fouls, Mitchell and James. So 2 away from fouling out for those 3.
Hubbard, 82.9% for the free throw line this year, hits his first one. Both teams in the double bonus. Lucas, we had a combined 10 fouls at the intermission. We've had 24 in the second half.
And I think it has gotten a little even more physical than it was in the first half, but the officials have called a lot more fouls where I don't think they would have called probably in the early goings of the first half, but yeah, a lot more whistles in this one as well, but both teams just been battling all game long.
And it's going both ways. Consistency is very important.
Very true.
71-70 the tally after that 2-for-2 trip, and almost taken away. Moving around the arc, 8 seconds to shoot it. Up top, Mitchell driving to the hoop, and blocked away! Simmons said no! Highlight reel!
Indeed, he did. He didn't really have to move. He was in the right position at the right time there. Just got his right arm about it, and he got all of the ball. I mean, full contact with it, nothing hitting that one off the ground. And I mean, no question about it. Clean block there.
Timeout called by Ohio. I believe it's just a 30-second one with 1:57 to go in the second half. 3 seconds on the shot clock, and this is a smart timeout, in my opinion, by Coach Jeff Bowles, Lucas.
It is, because you're up by 1, so Toledo's done well to get a couple of baskets to cut the lead down, but also too, you just had an insane block by Simmons that got the Toledo crowd here at Rocket Arena into a little bit. So pausing a little bit of what could have been a momentum swing to Toledo if they were to just quickly inbound it and get another stop. So that's a quick timeout.
Pavletsky will once again be the inbounder. They have time to set up a play and shoot. Got to get it in 5 seconds. They will to Mitchell. Mitchell putting on the moves, takes the long 2 and doesn't get any rim. It's a shot clock violation. Looked like he was more so trying to draw a foul on Sam Lewis.
I think he was indeed as well. He was kind of leaning back with his shot, trying to draw in that contact, but couldn't get that one off in time before the shot clock expired.
71-70 the tally. We're approaching 90 seconds to play. Collision and foul is going to be called, and Adams slow to get up.
That was very awkward. He kind of just got wrapped around Hadaway.
It will be an Ohio foul on Hadaway, his 4th personal.
So he's one away from fouling out, and you look at the Rockets, still Hubbard and Adams are still just one away from fouling out, and Adams going to the free throw line, still just one away from not being here anymore.
Simmons also one away from fouling out. A lot of players in foul trouble. Big free throws, first one up and good to tie it. Lucas, something that's very important is free throws. You know this, obviously. You cover basketball. 12 of the last 13 years, Toledo has finished in the top 3 in the MAC in free throw percentage.
Really impressive, and you look at their free throw shooting again tonight as he knocks down 2 for the Rockets' lead. Look at the free throw attempts they've had this game. 22 for 26. It's unbelievable shooting from the charity stripe.
The Rockets will use a full timeout with 1 minute and 48 seconds to play. They lead it 72-71. This one coming right down to it. Do not go anywhere. This is Falcon Radio.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face than cooking up a big meal for the whole family and lots of friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in our country who struggle with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids. But they can't do it without your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
If you suffer from COPD symptoms like shortness of breath and fatigue, where do you turn? There are medications and oxygen, but do you know about pulmonary rehab? 3 out of 5 COPD patients have never heard of it. Pulmonary rehab is an exercise, education, and support program that gives you tools to manage your condition, and Medicare typically pays for it. So whether it's grocery shopping on your own or just walking across the room, pulmonary rehab can help you. Visit livebetter.org to find out about your options for pulmonary rehab today.
What a fantastic game it has been here in Rocket Arena. Game 2 of 4. It's 72-71. Toledo out in front. Caden Knapp, Lucas Clymer, thrilled to be with you on this Thursday, March the 13th. MAC Tournament quarterfinals. Hadaway moving it over to Clayton. Clayton, 10 seconds shooter, goes up with it and gives Ohio the lead. Banked it in.
Clayton coming alive when the Bobcats need him to the most. Only his 7 points now in the game, but what a huge basket that was.
Approaching a minute to play. Adams, tightly guarded, moves it up top to Lewis. Back inside to Adams, 8 seconds to shoot it, and a whistle, and a foul is going to be called, so more free throws incoming, this time with 1:02 to play and a 1-point deficit.
Officials have been consistent, that's for sure, despite the Ohio side of the Rocket Arena not agreeing with it.
Yeah, and I mean, that comes with every single game almost.
Oh, yeah, that's how it is. And it's Isaiah Adams again, too, by the way, going to the free throw line. He's 9 for 10 already from the charity stripe this game.
Misses the first one, though.
Yeah, commentator's curse, that's on me.
That makes the second one ginormous. A chance to tie it. Free throw 2, good. 73 all.
73 all with a minute left, Caden. Another good one, another cinematic finish here.
Paveletzky crosses the mid-court stripe. Over to Clayton. Now back to Mitchell. They have 16 seconds to shoot it. Mitchell driving from the top of the key, stopped to the near elbow. Paveletzky back with it, 10 seconds. He's going to drive, take the fadeaway shot. Who else? 75-73, nothing but net.
That was unbelievable from Paveletzky there. A little fadeaway shot there, 23 points. My goodness, Caden.
26 seconds to play. Adams with the basketball. Toledo has 1 timeout remaining. 10 seconds to the hoop at the far block. There's a fadeaway. That's short, no good. Offensive rebounds made with 13 seconds. Toledo has a chance. Driving does Adams to the hoop. He ties it with 7.8 seconds to play. Ohio up tempo. Other side of the floor, 5 seconds to the hoop. Whistle, foul, 2 free throws incoming. Jackson Paveletzky is going to go to the line with 4.2 seconds to play.
Oh my goodness, what a sequence. I think and Adams fouled out. That was on Adams. Adams fouled out there, Caden. That is huge for Toledo. I was about to say in that possession, you got to get Adams the basketball. I don't know, Ohio wanted to travel there before that possession because of how long he just held on to the basketball. Credit to Wilson to kicking that one out of all the contact, but my goodness, what a sequence. And D's going to come down the free throws, that's for sure.
Paveletzky just soaking it in, walking back and forth as we have a stoppage.
I thought that his shot, too, was going to roll around the rim and fall in, but man, oh man, he's got 2 big free throws coming up with 4.2 seconds left.
Officials going over to the monitor, and they're going to review it. We'll keep it right here. Well, the officials making Paveletzky really think about these free throws, Lucas.
Indeed, but I cannot believe the shot selection from Lewis in the last possession when he almost traveled. The Sonny Wilson, not only offensive rebound, the ability he got it out to get it back to Lewis, who got it back to Adams, who again found himself open in the lane, who has a game high 26 points. And then you come back the other way. Paveletzky took, it seemed like 5 steps, and all of a sudden he was on the other side of the basket, and then he gets fouled. And now he has a chance to hit 2 free throws to win the game. I mean, that sequence happened so fast, but my goodness, that's what you live for. This is what MAC tournament's all about.
75-75 the score. 4.7 on the game clock. They just said it was a common foul, so at least they believe that's what they said. Everyone delaying, walking over to the free throw line to line up. Paveletzky, 23 points today, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Toledo still has a timeout. Free throw 1, up and good. Ice water, 76-75.
It's all about nerves from the charity stripe, and especially when you're in a situation like this. Toledo has 1 timeout left, 30 seconds. They could take it if they want to, and they probably will.
Free throw 2, up and no good.
Oh, wow.
Rebound made, and then we're going to get a whistle. The timeout. Bryce Ford was the rebounder. 3.6 seconds on the clock.
Oh boy, that's a big miss. You're still up by 1 for the Bobcats, but you need a defensive stop here with 3.6 seconds left.
Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer. This is just game 2 of 4 today on Falcon Radio. What contest has been? Quarterfinal spot in the semifinals on the line against the Akron Zips, the 1 seed. 1 MAC loss this season, as we mentioned. That 1 loss came to the Ohio Bobcats.
What a matchup. I mean, both either Toledo or Ohio, whoever comes away victorious here, it's going to be an incredible matchup against the Zips. You look at Ohio, can they beat Akron twice this season? The only team in the conference to do so. If you're Toledo, can you right the wrongs of the previous year and take down the favorites? I mean, both matchups are definitely very, very interesting and very good.
For Toledo, this is the 7th time out of the last 8 years that they've been a 4 seed or better in the tournament. They added some time, so there's 4 seconds on the game clock right now. Toledo's going to have to take it the length of the floor.
Decent amount of time. No timeouts left, too, for Toledo. So this is probably it. No Adams, too.
Simmons will be the inbounder.
Oh, never mind.
We have another stoppage as Ohio uses a 30-second timeout. I think Coach Bowles just wanted to see how Toledo was going to set up. They have 1 timeout remaining now. This is the play design of the season, pretty much.
I mean, it is, because if Toledo doesn't get this, they can't stop the clock again unless it gets deflected out from a Bobcat with 4 exact seconds left remaining in. Again, Caden, there's no Adams on the floor, and he's been the best player offensively for Toledo this game. So I don't know who you really go to. Do you go to Lewis, Simmons?
I think you have to go to Lewis.
Probably do. Be interesting to see what they draw up here. I mean, Simmons is very good down low. You'd have to imagine they're going to probably go for a 2 here.
Yeah.
Why take 3 when all you need is 2?
Here we go. Now it's going to be Hubbard, the inbounder. A lot of people on their feet.
Got the Bobcats fans on their feet. Toledo's sitting down.
Hubbard has his inbound tipped away.
And they're saying it was kicked out from Clayton.
Clayton just kicked his leg up. And then he wanted some time to come off the clock. Did not get any time taken off. It was so quick. Hubbard gets it into Wilson. Wilson up the floor. He's going to just chuck one up, and he's fouled with 0.2 seconds to play. Oh, my goodness.
The one thing you could not do if you were Sharif Mitchell in Ohio was foul.
His 4th personal foul, and it comes at the worst possible time as they do not have time to get a shot off. Should both these free throws go in, they're going to go to the monitor and see if they're going to add any. But you need at least 0.3 seconds to get a tip-off. And oh my goodness, Mitchell was just sitting on the ground for a good 30 seconds after the foul, just thinking to himself, what just happened? What'd I do?
We've been mentioning it all game long. It's been a battle and a very physical in the paint. But at this point, at the point in the game, Caden, you got to just let them take a shot up. You can't foul. You can't give them 2 automatic attempts from the charity stripe to one either tie or 2 to get the win. They added a second exact, so Ohio has a chance to do at least something after this, but you can't foul there. That's the one thing you cannot do. You can't foul, and you got to just get a defensive stop with 4 seconds left, and Mitchell's going to be kicking himself if the Rockets can make both of these.
Wilson, the 6'1 sophomore, 65.8% from the charity stripe this season. 2 of 2 today, though. Here we go. Free throw 1. Good. 76 all. And also, if you're Pavletsky, despite him having just this fantastic game, he did miss a free throw not too long ago.
Man,
he's going to be kicking himself for that should they lose.
It's a good point, Kane, because it comes down to moments, and you look, if one of those free throws go in, it's a different story. It's only 2 to tie.
Wilson. Perhaps the biggest free throw of his young career, collegiately. Free throw up. He missed it! We're going to go overtime!
Timeout taken.
Well, they call a timeout with 0.5 seconds. So we go to overtime, barring an absolute miracle.
The last timeout was taken from Ohio with 0.5 seconds left on the clock, so they're going to have time to inbound it and at least jack up some sort of shot off the glass, but looking like we're heading to overtime.
A spot in the semifinals on the line. You know, Lucas, we were talking about it off air. Yesterday, we had 4 women's games. They went by so quickly, and it went by so well. Basically, every game started on time. So we're like, more than likely today, we're going to have longer games, and it's going to dig deeper into the night. It's 3:42 now, and this one has been fantastic. Perhaps the game of the first round, women's and men's.
Start time for Miami Eastern was set for 4, so it looks like it might be 4:15 or 4:30. So extra long night for us here at Rocket Arena. But man, this game has had everything. So they added 0.2 seconds more on the clock, so 0.7. So there is time. The moment you inbound, you're gonna have to put it up. So it'll be interesting to see what Bowles draws up here. Could we have a buzzer beater here, or could we be going to overtime? We'll find out.
Caden App, Lucas Kleinmeyer, Falcon Radio. Up next, Eastern takes on Miami as Eastern Michigan. 2 versus 7 matchup. Artie Abrego, Henry Costco will call that game 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Everyone's still on their feet. Inbound goes to Sheldon, launches up a prayer, no good it goes. And we're getting extra basketball here in Cleveland, Ohio. 76-76, 40 minutes, not enough to settle this one. We're going to step aside and come right back to Falcon Radio. Do not go anywhere.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. But for many adults with disabilities who are elderly or have serious medical issues, dental care is simply unaffordable. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. DLN is asking dentists and their teams to volunteer to just see one of the many patients in need. You can literally change a life. Visit willyouseeone.org to help change one life in your community today.
BGSU men's basketball guard Javante Campbell made a game-winning layup against Toledo with 1.6 seconds remaining on February 21st, 2025, giving BG their first win at Savage Arena since 2021. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call of the shot on Falcon Radio.
It's Campbell with the ball, driving inside, layup's no good, rebounded by Exact, the putback's no good. Johnson fights for it, it's kicked back out to Exact, inside to Campbell. Campbell puts the layup, it goes with 1.6 seconds remaining. Javante Campbell with the huge shot, possible shot of the year for Bowling Green. They take the lead with 1.6 seconds remaining over Toledo, 69-68.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network feature call.
Welcome back to Rocket Arena in the start of overtime between 4th-seeded Toledo and 5th-seeded Ohio. 76-76 stands the tally. Caden Epp along with Lucas Kleinmeyer. And Lucas, what a finish to the regulation that was. Of course, Wilson had a chance to win it, couldn't make the second free throw. But a big factor is that Isaiah Adams is out for the remainder of this game because he committed 5 fouls.
And he leads the Rockets and the entire game with and scoring 26 points, 10 for 12 from the free throw line, 7 for 13 from field goal range, and it's going to be missing his presence. Oh, wow, looks like Hubbard's in for the Rockets. He's still 1 foul away from fouling out as well. I still can't get over that endgame sequence. And you have both Wilson and Pavletsky, who have both been 2 of your most efficient scorers. Pavletsky has been the best for OU, and they both miss their second free throw attempt from the line. And if one of those two just made it, we are not having overtime here, so it's incredible just how the small margins have, as that's a big mistake from Simmons.
Toledo won the overtime tip, and then, Simmons just passed it out of bounds, past Bryce Ford, but It might have been tipped, say the officials.
He won the 2 Rockets, 2 double-doubles. Wilson, 13 points, 12 assists, and Simmons, 10 rebounds, 10 points.
15 seconds into overtime. Fouls carry over, so we will get free throws after every single foul on both sides. Wilson up with it. Good! Quick basket for him to put Toledo in the lead for the 7th time today. Ohio's first offensive possession of overtime. Still going to the western side of Rocket Arena. Spinning around does Mitchell to the hoop and no good. And then a tip drill for the basketball. It's still loose. Ohio somehow gets it back. That was Hadaway. Now driving. Pass it out to Mitchell. Mitchell driving. Nice move, but it's blocked away with 9 seconds.
Yeah, that was Lewis there coming flying from the baseline to knock that one out of bounds.
Can we rewind and talk about that move made at the near wing? That was a fantastic move by Mitchell. No cigar, though, at the end as there's a falling down shot that is no good. Pavletsky wanted a foul, did not get one.
Wow. Yeah. what a ending to this game, and oh my goodness.
Underneath shot is no good for Ford. Right to Ohio it goes with Elmore James. Mitchell driving from the far wing to the hoop. He goes. He falls down.
Got the pass off, though.
Yeah, somehow Hadaway with it. 78-76, 3:25 to go in overtime, and we're even again. That was Aiden Hadaway. 7 points for him. 2 minutes has gone by in overtime. Toledo taking their time with Wilson. Wilson jump stops in the middle of the paint. Moves it out. Nice lay to the hoop and laid in does Sam Lewis. Made the All-MAC third team. He now has 15 points, 80-78. Pressure on Ohio. There's a 3. That's good! Splish splash for the far wing. Who else but A.J. Clayton? 81-80. And then a whistle offensive foul committed on the other end by Toledo.
It's going to be on Wilson. It's only going to be a second personal foul, but man, that's a big one. What a huge three from A.J. Clayton, though.
Back to Ohio. This one has been fantastic. We're approaching 2 minutes. Pavlensky moving it over. Going around Hadaway, tightly guarded, goes up with it anyway, in and out from the far block, and back to Toledo. It goes with Hubbard. 2 minutes to play in overtime. Spinning around, move it out now, does Lewis. Each team one timeout because they get an extra one for overtime. There's a deep 3, splash splash for the near wing this time. Sam Lewis, 83-81.
Well, three-point shooting from both these teams have not been great, and now both teams have each now made their 5th three-pointer of the day.
And then a blocking foul will be called on Simmons as he was falling down, and that will disqualify him from the remainder of this game.
Big foul there, too, for the man who has a double-double on the night, but his night will be done. Be interesting to see who Kowalczyk elects to bring in for these final minute 34.
We're going to get free throws. I believe Aiden Hadaway will be the free throw shooter with the score 83-81, 94 seconds.
I will say, too, the advantage that the men have in this tournament than the women do is the women have gotten a day of rest today. None of the women's teams are in action today. The men are going to have to turn around and play the semifinals game tomorrow, obviously later in the day, but overtime is going to put a lot on your body. You're already playing 3 games in 3 days.
Especially with the winner of this game playing Akron up next.
Akron looked pretty good, I think, putting it lightly, against your BJSU men's basketball team. But, tournament time, anything can happen. I think if either one of the teams, whoever comes out victorious, if they can match that physicality as they did this game and take that to Akron, I think they have a good chance for it to be a very good game.
Jackson Pavletsky was actually the player who's going to go to the line as he hits his first free throw to bring the Bobcats within one. Sheldon, Mitchell, Clayton, Pavletsky, and James into the game for the Bobcats. As there's a 2-for-2 trip, 83 all. We're even again as Wilson up the floor. Lewis, Ford, Wilson, Hubbard into the game with Lorenzen. Going around, 17 seconds to shoot. Go up with it. Does Lewis? No good. That one goes. He couldn't lay it in from the near block. Ohio gets it back. Pavletsky up the floor, working the near wing. Guarded by Hubbard, out to the corner. There's a three. That's going to be short and no good. And then a rebound made defensively by Wilson. Elmore James was a shot taker. Under a minute to play. Wilson making moves. Moves it back up top and around the arc. Lewis now driving from the near wing. Tightly guarded. Goes up with it. Westall. Foul. Count that basket. Toledo back in front with 43.7 to play.
That is an unbelievable take from Lewis. 20 points now. Second Rocket with 20-plus points. Only 9 for 21 shooting. But that was unbelievable. I believe that was Mitchell's fifth personal foul. So now he's going to be fouled. He's done. His afternoon is done. And we go back to that foul he did at the end of regulation, Caden, where we didn't think he really needed to make that foul. Luckily, they got in overtime, but now his night's done. That's a big blow for the Bobcats.
And Hadaway will enter the game for him. What a game this has been, to say the least. This is going to be free throw attempt number 31 of the game for Toledo. Ohio's attempted 21.
We've seen a lot of free throws this contest for sure.
Free throw up and good to convert the good old-fashioned three-point play. It's 86-83.
Gonna need a three here if you're Ohio.
Pavletsky moving it over to Clayton. Up top, Hadaway. Back to Pavletsky going the other way. Under 30 seconds to play. Takes the long two and splashes it home. Brings them within one. They took the shot that was available to them. And now they have to foul because the shot clock is turned off, but they're not. 20 seconds, and now Pavletsky is finally going to commit a foul with 19.9 to play. Ohio and Toledo each have one timeout remaining. I think everyone in the arena was yelling, foul, foul.
Ohio didn't recognize the shot clock was off there. They didn't realize they had to foul till Coach Jeff Bowles was signaling, got to foul him.
Hubbard splashes in his first free throw, 82.9%. We'll see if Coach Bowles uses a timeout after this free throw. Free throw up and good. It's a 2-for-2 trip there for the junior, and Coach Bowles will indeed use his final 30-second timeout of overtime number one. 19.9 seconds to play. 88-85 the score. Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer, Falcon Radio. And Lucas, if you're Ohio, yes, you'd like to hit a three on this possession, but you don't want to jack up a shot and give it back to Toledo and have to foul.
I think you're going to take this down as much as you can. You got to just get an open shot. You can't take a shot over any sort of contact. You have a lot of time, but you need a three. You can't go for a 2-year. I mean, you can, but then again, you're playing the free throw shooting game where you make it, and then you're going to foul Toledo, and now you're banking on them missing two again, which, I mean, it did towards the end of the game, but I would go all or nothing here. I would go for three, try to tie it. If not, then you cut your losses and you pay respect to Toledo. I think it's going to be very difficult, again, if you just go for a quick two and foul, but it's pretty much likely what they're going to do. They got to inbound this one, go the full distance in order to put up a shot.
Clayton will be the inbounder. Gets it in to Pavletsky. Pavlovetsky up the floor, 16 seconds, back to Clayton. Who do they want to take the shots? Tight defense there. 10 seconds on the clock.
You got to shoot three now.
Pavlovetsky, the very deep three. That's short, no good. Tip drill, 5 seconds. Pavlovetsky gets it back, and then he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds with 3.8 to play. And a 3-point lead for the Rockets.
I think they want a foul on Pavlovetsky the way he fouled, but you're right. The officials are saying he was out of bounds. I mean, I thought that was going in. The last shot looked like it had the distance, but just a little short. My goodness.
They will review. That was just a very deep three, very low percentage from the near wing.
It wasn't deep, but give him credit. He chased down that rebound, but he was very close to his own bench for the Bobcats. That foot might have just been out of bounds. We don't have a replay here to see it, but man, oh man.
Once again, Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer, Falcon Radio. We still have more basketball on Falcon Radio. Up next, Eastern Michigan taking on Miami, and then Kent State taking on Western Michigan to round out the evening. Then we have 4 games tomorrow on Falcon Radio.
We do indeed. You got the 2 women's games to start. You got Ball State, Kent State starting it off, and you got Buffalo and Toledo. And you got Akron, maybe the men's Toledo team, if they can hold on here as well. And then we'll have the 4th semifinal matchup with whoever wins Kent State and Miami and Eastern, and also Kent and Western for those 2 games.
They did say that Pavlovetsky stepped out of bounds. Pavlovetsky is going to be kicking himself for that. 28 points today, 9 of 16 from the floor, leads the team with 3 assists as well. Bobcats need a takeaway. They added time, 4.4 seconds on the clock. Wilson will be the inbounder, tightly guarded by A.J. Clayton, of course. Clayton jumping up. Inbound goes to Hubbard, and with 3.6 seconds to play, he's going to go to the charity stripe with a chance to clinch this one.
Make both these games over. Even with 3.6 seconds left, I don't see Ohio having a path to you're knocking down 3 and then getting the ball back. Is just...
I'd venture to say even making 1 ends it. That's 88-85. Hubbard, 10 points today, 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. Make it 7 of 7, 89-85. The Rockets trying to win their 9th consecutive game against the Ohio Bobcats. They hit the second free throw. Does Hubbard up the floor, and there's a heave at the buzzer. No good. It goes to the Toledo Rockets. Hold on to win the thriller, 90-85. Ohio's season is over unless they just elect to join a tournament. Toledo's chance at making it to the NCAA tournament stays alive. What a game.
And we had some words shared with a Rocket and a Bobcat. So it'll be interesting to see what they do the handshake line, but what a battle. I mean, what an absolute battle. Just a physical basketball game. My goodness. One of the best games of the tournament so far, undoubtedly. What an incredible 45 minutes of basketball play there. It took overtime for the Toledo to take down the Bobcats, but my goodness, that was unbelievable there from Toledo. Give Todd Kowalczyk his praise. They haven't had the success in postseason tournaments that they have wanted in years past, but they do it here, advance to the second round, and they got a date with the Akron Zips.
Yep, that'll be played tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll call that game with Artie Abrego. What a game. I mean, that's the least we could say with that. I mean, just this was quality basketball, and it's what we expected because these two teams are so evenly matched.
They're so evenly matched, and they have stars. They have stars in all positions on the court. It was back and forth. We mentioned it all broadcast, too. There wasn't a large lead. There wasn't a double-figured lead in this game.
Yeah.
If you look at the largest lead, it was Toledo with 8, Ohio with 5. It was back and forth. It was as even as you can get. It was such a great back and forth contest, but give the Rockets credit, man. Resilient towards the very end, and at the end they made a couple more shots than the Bobcats, and OU's going to have an early exit, something that they didn't want coming into this tournament, obviously. But Toledo now, that matchup against Akron now, that's turn your attention to them tomorrow and try to take them the Zips, and that would be a huge game. That's a huge game tomorrow on Falcon Radio.
Well, Lucas, it's been fun calling another game with you. We, of course, next game we have is, back-to-back. Next game we have is the NAC Tournament Championship.
Yeah, we do, and like I said, too, as well, that I think we both had the two best games so far.
Yes.
This term, both for the men's and women's side. And like you mentioned, we do have the women's championship Saturday at 11 a.m., so that should be fun as well. So, but, yeah, what a game. Incredible.
Well, in about 30 minutes, we're going to see tip-off between second-seeded Miami Redhawks and the seventh-seeded Eastern Michigan Eagles. Artie Abrego, Henry Costco will take you through that game. For Caden Knapp, Lucas Kleinmeyer, stay safe, everyone. Good night.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.